and welcome back to my office. In this little series that I'm doing right now, I am just explaining a little bit about my mission for my church that I did, because I served from November of 2019 to almost April of 2020, but because of a whole pandemic, I'm back home right now. I'm about to go back out, I don't know if this exists, but I wish somebody would have given me, not necessarily advice, but like just told me how it is, what's a mission like, before I went. So I served in Argentina, and so far this is my second episode of this, where I was in the MTC in Mexico City. So this is where I read back my old emails and I summarize them and give them to you. I wish somebody would have done this for me, so here I am. So this one was kind of interesting, this email. I remember writing this, and this is because I have a lot of friends that were not part of my religion and had no idea what I was doing. They were just like, oh, that's so cool, you're going to another country, you're going to Argentina, that's really cool to do some service. But they didn't know anything else other than that. So they didn't even know that I had to go to like a training center before this, because I knew no Spanish and I didn't know how to teach the gospel. So this email was kind of lengthy, and it was just kind of a summary of like what the MTC is like. That's basically what this one was about. And there's like a little small paragraph about how it was going, but for the most part it was just a little summary of what the MTC is like after 2 weeks of being in it. So I guess this is like the video if, I don't know what happens after this pandemic, but if they continue with the MTC in Mexico and you're about to go there, or if you know somebody who's going there, here's a very great description. I went into a lot of detail. So basically an MTC stands for Missionary Training Center. So it's where missionaries go to get trained. In Mexico City though, it's called the CCM. It stands for, like, I can't even say it. I didn't even learn. It's how you say Missionary Training Center in Spanish, I think. Anyways, it's kind of like a little, so this is like kind of in the center of the city, kind of, in Mexico City. It's very beautiful though, and it's gated off. And this used to be like a boarding school for people who are like from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for high school kind of. That's what I kind of learned from it. This place has been around for a long time, and it's gated, and it has a lot of cool things that like kind of in schools and stuff. So there were dorms and little casas. So the dorms are like newer buildings that were built, and so it's like 3 rooms with like 2 beds, like 2 separate beds. So like a companionship can stay in there, and then another companionship, and then another companionship, and then like a little tiny little living room thingy with water, like a little water thing, and then bathrooms, which had 2 sinks, 2 toilets, 2 showers, and so that's what a dorm looked like. And then I'll probably show you a video right here. Okay, so that explains that a lot better. And then there's these casas, which are mostly for the elders, and they housed like 20 of them, and they had a huge living room. I know this because we had to do some service, and we had to like make beds before new missionaries came in, and so I saw it. Big living room, So many different bedrooms with bunk beds. So that's what that looks like. So there's a cafeteria, there's classrooms, and then there's like your living area. And so that was really cool. Try to go through this really quickly. We have companionships, which are like one other person that you are with 24/7. And we wear name tags like this. Mine was in Spanish because we're learning Spanish, and my mission was in Argentina. And from there, we called each other by our last names. So, like elders are like Elder. If your last name was Linford, like mine, it'd be Elder Linford. If you're a sister, which is a female, you're called Hermana. So Hermana Linford. That's what happened there. So I lived with 2 other girls instead of 4 other girls in my living area because the other room was vacant for some reason. And they were really nice. They were older than my companion and I because we both had just graduated. And they graduated in the years 2018 and 2017. So they've already done a year of college or 2. A typical day is we wake up at 6:30 a.m. And then you do exercises. Like you exercise in the morning usually, or you're given a specific part of the day. So it kind of, your schedule just all over the place. And so there's a track, like a track because this used to be an old school. It was kind of like a sandy track, so kind of old school. There's tennis courts, multiple volleyball courts, including a sand one. There's a basketball courts, outside and inside. There's a soccer fields, and there are also multiple gyms with weights and treadmills and all that. Then you go back to your apartment, you get ready, and we dress professionally. So we dress in slacks, skirts, dresses, or like the guys like suits or like a button-up shirt, a white button-up shirt. You have breakfast. There was always fruit, like that one person told me. And it's kind of like a buffet style, so you walk in, you grab your plate, and you get whatever you want. And then you go sit down, and usually people just sit with their districts because you get really close with them, which I will explain a little bit what a district is. So then after that, you go to your class, and you have a morning teacher and afternoon teacher. The morning teacher that we had was really cool, but most of the teachers there don't speak any English, or like, no, they speak a little bit of English, but not much at all. So they're just trying to teach you Spanish through Spanish. So it's kind of different than a normal Spanish classroom setting because, like, you can't ask, like, at the end of class for the teacher to explain something because they can't in English. So, I mean, like, re-explain it in English, if you know what I mean. So I love my teachers. They were really young. Usually they're pretty young, like they're around the age that they get married, or they just barely came back from mission themselves. So like they're around, depends. I would say around 22 to 25. Like that's a normal age for teachers. Our class was really like special. It wasn't really normal. Usually classes are like districts, that's what they're called. So it's like the same class that you're always in with the same people. So it's kind of like elementary school. That's your class. That's your class. Usually it's around 12 people, 10 to 12 people, and they're all in companionship, so you're all paired. Usually it's around 10 guys or 10 elders to 10 girls, or 2 girls or 2 hermanas, okay? So that's kind of usually the ratio, but we had 6 girls and 6 elders. So it was kind of different, and everyone always told us that we were so different, that we've never seen a district like ours, and that we were really well behaved. We were. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we would just, when we were told that we were supposed to sit and study, we did. We were good. We also talked a lot because we had a lot in common. It was really fun. And so after that, we would go to lunch back in the cafeteria. Again, they had like 2 main meals, like, that you could choose from, and then from there, go get the salad bar or go get other things like that, some fruit. They always have fruit for all meals. Then after that, we would usually like study outside, and the temperature outside in November is 75 degrees on average. So it was really nice, and you can study anywhere but your room. So you could go anywhere and go study outside in the grass if you wanted to. But there usually were little tables outside that were really nice. Then we had our afternoon class with a different teacher, but the same people in our class. So it was kind of like elementary school again. You're in the same class, you're the same students in the class, but we just had a different teacher that came in. She was also really young. She just finished her mission in Costa Rica that year. She also didn't speak much English, but she spoke a little bit more English than our morning teacher because during her mission she said that one of her companions spoke English and like kind of refused to speak Spanish, so she had to learn. She was really sweet and had lots of energy. Usually in classes we memorize words, scriptures, phrases in Spanish. We also learn what we know how to use and practice those in teaching other people, like practice runs. We also learn how grammar works. Then we have dinner. Again, kind of the same buffet kind of style. There's also cereal for dinner too. That was always available, and Nutella. Always Nutella. Followed by more study time, which you just go back to the classroom because it's kind of chilly at night. Or some people, like, it was actually kind of nice some nights, and so you could study outside on the tables. And then some evenings we had devotionals where we have a guest speaker or we watch a video of the past speaker. And then you get ready for bed, and bedtime is 10:30 p.m. You're in bed. I'm going to read this little last paragraph, and it says, I'm adjusting really well. I feel so blessed. I get along with everyone and feel a lot of purpose being here and sharing and hearing other people's testimonies. Spanish is still hard, but I'm studying every second I can. I'm being obedient as I can. I love the culture here. I always mention that I'm from El Paso, Texas, which is right next to Mexico. And I think people are getting really annoyed when I say that because I kind of understood the culture there in Mexico, even though we were like gated community, whatever. I would be like, oh, I know what tajin is. I know what like the candy with the chili on it was. Like I understood things like that, I guess. So that's what this kind of email was about. I hope that helps someone. That was pretty in-depth, I think.